G'day folks, today we are taking a look at my electric barbecue conversion. You may see from the outside it looks like your typical 4-burner gas barbecue. You might get a bit of a hint as to what could be happening if you see that cord dangling down at the bottom, and once you open up you can see it is definitely not running on gas anymore. So there we have it. This is my old gas barbecue converted to run on induction power. You can see here, this old barbecue is actually about 21 years old. It's definitely seen better days. I decided to do the electric conversion because, you know, it was getting to the point where I would have had to replace the gas burners yet again, and the hot plates were sort of going rusty. So, yeah, definitely it was time to do something about it. So just briefly talking about the why of this process before we get into the how and how much. The reason why I decided to convert this 20-plus-year-old barbecue to electricity was because it was actually the last fossil fuel appliance I had in my house. About 3 years before that, I'd converted the whole rest of the house to run on electricity. The last thing we had left was an old gas cooktop inside the kitchen, which we converted over to induction as well. Then we also had a hot water heat pump installed to replace the old instant gas hot water, and I love that appliance as well. So this was the last thing left. You know, I still had to go down to the petrol station occasionally to swap the old gas bottle. And to be honest, it just didn't feel right, you know, burning gas in this day and age with all the things that are going on with the climate. So just really wanted to get rid of the gas and just show that it can be done, really. In terms of how to use it, it's super simple. You can basically just pop out the power cord here. This induction cooktop runs on a standard 15 amp power socket, which you can simply plug in there. Turn it on. You may have heard a little click there. Come along, hold down your finger on the power button, and that's it. You can fire it up, ready to go. For an actual barbecue experience, I bought this hot plate here, which can basically sit right on top. That one essentially gives you a nice big area for doing barbecues and cooking all kinds of different meat and other things. The other advantage of this particular induction setup is you can actually use all the different pots and pans you've got inside. So anything you can cook inside on induction, you can actually do outside here. And the advantage of that is that you can have, you know, all the smells can just waft away. You're not polluting your indoors with, you know, bad air quality and particulate matter. I actually have an indoor air quality monitor, and I've noticed that just if you fry an egg and stuff inside, the actual indoor air quality in terms of the PM 2.5 actually skyrockets up quite high. So the fact that you can cook this stuff outside now is definitely an advantage. The other thing I've actually found quite handy on this is with seasoning your cast iron fry pan. So if you've got a cast iron, you know, pot or frying pan, you can actually season that out here, and as you're burning off all that oil, again, you're not getting that particulate matter inside. And you know, if you've got anyone in your family who's asthmatic, that's definitely a big plus. In terms of the cooking area, you can see here, this hot plate is not quite as big as the old, especially not as big as, you know, using all 4 burners at once. In this case, you can sort of turn it sideways and you can see roughly where it's a bit smaller, maybe sort of 1/3 of the area of the original barbecue. I will say though that in the old days when it was gas, I used to only use about half the barbecue anyway. I tended to use mostly 2 burners. I didn't really turn on the other 2 sides, 2 burners. One side had solid plate, the other side had the open grill, and I tended not to use that really much. So I don't find it a big inconvenience, to be honest. In terms of how I did this conversion, the process was actually very simple. Unfortunately, I did this conversion a few months ago before I got the channel up and running, so I don't actually have any, you know, I can't do a video of the conversion, but if I did reshoot it, it would be actually quite simple. Basically, all I did was take out all the old gas components. So I had the 4 gas burners there, like I said earlier, I had the 2 hot plates, so I just ripped all that stuff out. There was actually one of those sort of trays you can see there, maybe on the side there, where it sort of used to slide across. That was a drip tray that sort of caught the fats and oils with that white sort of cat litter type stuff. So I got rid of that tray as well as the gas bottle and the spare gas bottle. Like I said, that probably saved about 40 kilograms of weight. After that, all I did was simply, I had this old sort of melamine shelving that it was sitting around. I just chopped off a piece to measure the right size, cut out the little hole in the middle with a jigsaw, dropped in that wood, dropped in the induction cooktop, and Bob's your auntie's live-in lover. I was barbecuing on electricity. A couple of other advantages worth mentioning, I think, are just how easy this thing is to cook and clean on. So as I showed you before, super easy to plug in, turn on. You know, you don't have to come out 5 minutes, 10 minutes before you want to barbecue and fire up the gas. And you know, this old clicker was sort of not working half the time with the old gas, so it was kind of a pain to use. I had to duck inside and get matches half the time. So much quicker and easier to fire this thing up. It's also super easy to clean once you're finished. So just like induction inside, give it a nice wipe down, quick and easy wipe down with a damp cloth or a paper towel, and it's ready to go for next time. And last but not least, this barbecue's also had a massive weight reduction since before. So I was actually surprised. I didn't really think about it before, but getting rid of the old gas burners underneath, the 4 gas burners, the 2 hot plates. I had 1 gas bottle hanging off here, a spare gas bottle down there. I think I worked out it's about 40 to 50 kilograms of weight saving. So the advantage of that, if you unplug, close the lid, you know, that's how quick and easy it is to pack this away. You find it is super easy and light to wheel around. So if I'm trying to clean my balcony, sorry for the noise, if I'm trying to clean my balcony, it's just super quick and easy to wheel around, push it out of the way, sweep off the leaves and stuff like that. So yeah, another advantage of electric barbecuing. So here we are cooking on the induction barbecue. I thought we have to have a video of it cooking, actually, you know, demonstrating the induction barbecue. So tonight we're cooking the Recipe Tin Eats honey soy chicken. Just want to say thank you, Nagi, for sharing your awesome recipe. We love this one, cook it all the time. My tip for cooking this recipe though, especially on any type of barbecue, is just to lay down some alcohol first, because this recipe makes a real terrible mess, especially if you let that honey soy, you know, congeal and harden. It's really hard to clean off. As I said before, cooking on this induction barbecue is super easy. I tend to find I'm using somewhere between 5 or 6 the setting on the induction hot plate here, so it's very, very easy to cook on. Definitely plenty of heat there. When I'm cooking, say, a butter-basted steak, which is another one of Nagi's recipes, I just have to baste here, so just bear with me for a sec. When I'm cooking the butter-basted steak, again, which is another Recipe Tin Eats thing, I find I've got that usually on 8 when it's saying baste, you know, brown the meat at the start on 8, and then I'll probably turn it down to 7 for that part later on. And I find that works really well. If you come in close here, cameraman Kobe, you can see no problem at all getting these chickens nice and brown. You know, this is a delicious recipe. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it, Kobe?
Yeah, it's great.
So there we go again. A couple of things I forgot to mention earlier in the video was that the alternatives I looked at before I decided to do this conversion, the other things you can sort of get in terms of the electric barbecue space are very, very limited. I found they're either very, very small or very, very expensive. For example, there was, you know, this really fancy looking teppanyaki grill, which was about $3,000. So obviously for $139 and a couple of $100 for this hot plate, it works out far, far cheaper. The other thing I didn't mention as well was I actually had to have this 15 amp power point installed by the electrician. That one actually I didn't have a cost for, because the electrician just installed it at the same time as he was doing some new rooftop solar and a battery, home battery, about 9 months ago. So he installed that for me, and yeah, he didn't charge me. So you might have to pay, you know, maybe it depends on your wiring, but a couple $100, $300 to get that installed as well. So even taking that into account, this is a very economical way to convert an old barbecue into an electric one. Cool, so there you go. Cooking on the electric induction barbecue is, yeah, I love it. I've, you know, sort of did this as a quick proof of concept, and I've grown to really love it. I'm definitely not going to go back to an old gas barbecue anytime soon. So just maybe one more advantage I didn't mention before was that if you're finished cooking on this sort of setup, you can just grab your hot plate, head inside, and enjoy your winner chicken dinner. Thanks for watching.